Are you ready for an extreme makeover of the mind? With the producer and host of A Better You podcast, the transformational coach whose assignment is to challenge people to change, grow, and evolve into the individuals they were created to be. Here is Dr. Anthony McFarland, providing you with practical tools and wisdom for everyday life challenges for you to win in life, relationships, and finances.
Hey guys, welcome to A Better You podcast. I'm excited to be with you again this week. In this episode, we're going to talk about the importance of developing a growth mindset, right? I heard someone say the person who does not succeed is often blocked by a fixed mindset. That is a mindset that assumes abilities and talents are given, limited, minimally, subject to improvement. And so therefore, this person believes they were born with certain qualities, both positive and negative, and that they are largely fixed throughout life. In other words, this is what life has handed me. I accept this is how it's going to be, and I'm really not going to get any changes. I'm not going to experience anything different. So while they usually recognize the value of training and education when it comes to raising their horizon and imagining a bold and strikingly different future, it's often just beyond them. It's out of their reach because they don't believe that they can go to higher heights. They don't believe that they can soar to new heights in whatever aspect of life they're in. And so when you think about people who are successful, right, skillful or intelligent, how do you think they got there? How do you think they got there? Did they earn those traits? Were they just lucky or gifted? God just blessed them to have all the capabilities, all the talents, all the gifts. Would you consider that those traits would be the results of hard work, perseverance, and persistent learning from failure? Oftentimes we see people who are very successful and we only hear their success stories. We don't hear the failure. We don't hear the stories where they experienced defeat, not just one or two times, but multiple times before they got where they are. Or do you believe, are you that person that believes that skill, intelligence, and success are entirely genetic, and that some people are just naturally talented in certain areas and others aren't? And there may be some truth to that. But these different viewpoints are known as fixed and growth mindsets. So the question becomes, are you interested in finding out which is which and why it matters? Because it does matter if you want to grow, if you want to excel in life, if you want to succeed in life. So let's take a look at what it means to have a growth mindset, what it means to grow a mindset, what a growth mindset is and isn't, how a growth mindset differs from a fixed mindset. So what is a growth mindset? When you look at the definition for a growth mindset, people with growth mindsets believe that skill and intelligence are something that people can develop. They believe that while people have inherent qualities and traits, success comes from constant personal development. In other words, you're constantly working on being a better you. So by contrast, those with fixed mindsets believe that talent and intelligence are something you either have or you don't have. That is, some people are good at certain activities and others excel in different areas. They don't believe that practice, failure, and strategy development are key to developing talent or intelligence. One of the things that Drek, psychologist, who is actually the creator of growth mindset, one of the things that Drek discusses is that those who do develop a high degree of talent are more often people with a growth mindset. And interesting enough, those with growth mindsets experience greater success and skill development. And so it works both ways. So, again, when you think about growth mindset, there are four growth mindsets that we need to be aware of, that we need to allow this reality to set in. And that is this: most people are somewhere in between where they are and where they want to be. Second, a growth mindset is more than just effort. What do I mean by that? Effort is important, right? But more crucial is an individual's attitude towards learning a new thing and their perspective on failure as a part of the learning process. I tell people all the time, failure isn't necessarily failure if you've learned from the failure, if you've allowed the lesson from the failure to cause you to grow, right? So, again, it's a part of the process. No one becomes successful overnight without experiencing failure. And then those who are even successful will still experience failure in some aspects of their life. Ask Jeff Bezos, and he will tell you they had a cell phone that they recently put out, and it failed miserably. So, the difference is with those who are successful, those who have a growth mindset, if something fails, watch this, they learn from the failure. And so they scrap it and move forward, or they tweak it and move forward. They don't allow that to prevent them from continuing to grow and evolve and try new things. So, again, when we think about the four dynamics or the four aspects of growth mindset and the reality that comes along with it, again, most people are somewhere in between. Two, growth mindset is more than just effort. And then three, not everyone can achieve everything. Not everyone can achieve everything. That's another mindset. Each individual has limitations that a growth mindset intervention might help combat, but cannot overcome entirely. What do I mean by that? The individual that's 5'2", 22-year-old is unlikely to become a player in the NBA, WNBA. It's just not. It's unlikely, right? But does that mean that it's impossible? No, it does not mean that it's impossible. And then that fourth mindset, again, just some of the realities of when it comes to a growth mindset, positive results come from a growth mindset and working towards a goal. So, with that, growth mindset individuals are people who understand that positive improvement is possible. They believe that achieving their goals, in order for them to achieve their goals, they must, number one, view failure as a part of the learning process. Two, put in the time, put in the work. And then three, embrace the challenge. And then four, develop new strategies to overcome each challenge that you're faced with. Now, when we talk about how to develop a growth mindset, well, again, it's a process that requires preparation. Most people want it, but most people don't prepare themselves to do the work, let alone do the work. So I want to share with you like 7 steps that you can take right now to develop a growth mindset, a healthier mindset. Number one, determine where you sit now. What do I mean by determine where you sit now? Do you consider yourself more or less in the growth mindset pool? And are you looking to make sure you stay that way? Or would you describe yourself as having a fixed mindset? See, knowing where you stand to begin with is the first phase. So, where do you stand presently? Do you have a growth mindset, fixed mindset? Do you think things are possible, impossible? not sure if you can do it or you can't do it, or just thinking positive is going to get you there without doing the work. The second thing that you have to do to develop a growth mindset is explore why you want to develop a growth mindset. What is it about? What is it about a growth mindset that motivates you to change? What is it about growing that motivates you to change? See, if I'm going to grow on the outside, I must first start to grow on the inside. See, what benefits do you see having a growth mindset brings to your life, brings to your family, brings to your business endeavors? So understanding this will give you purpose during the difficult stages of doing what? Developing this type of mindset. In other words, a different perspective, changing the lens out on your glasses so that you can see differently. And if you can see differently, you share something with you. You can believe differently. And if you can believe differently, you can experience different. And then the third step to developing a growth mindset is you have to find some examples. Find examples of others who have developed a growth mindset, individuals who have developed a champion mindset. And so start talking to your friends, family, colleagues about what it means to grow spiritually, mentally, physically, right? And see if anyone you know has also been working on developing one. See, they might be able to provide some valuable insight to you to assist you in the process, preparing to go through the process. And then here's a big one. Step 4, have to change your perspective on failure. Start viewing failure not as a sign of inability, but as a part of the process of learning so that you'll have the ability to accomplish whatever it is that you put your mind to, that you set your mind to. See, nobody starts out on any endeavor being the perfect example of the goal. And I really have a problem with people who make like they've been able to accomplish every goal that they've had in life. Like it's easy. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. It can be tough. So again, even the world's greatest athletes, the world's greatest artists and business moguls started out as kids with this little talent or expertise. And then it, they just developed it. Their parents developed it. Teachers, mentors developed it. Coaches developed that skill, that talent for them to become the great individuals that they are today. Having a growth mindset, you have to understand that it requires you to understand the importance and power of developing your gifts, your talents, your skills, your abilities, which brings me to step 5. You have to understand your own capacity. You have to understand your own limitations. Recognize that some things will be beyond what you can achieve. And with understanding that, it helps you to set realistic goals. I've heard people say, okay, you set a goal to become $100,000 earner this year. Can it be done? Yes. Become a 500,000, $500,000, $1 million earner this year. Can it happen? Yes. But it doesn't happen first without you becoming a $10,000 earner, a $20,000 earner, a $50,000 earner. Most people don't become $1 million earners overnight. So when you understand that some things will be beyond what you can achieve in the moment in this season, it helps you. It will help you understand that some endeavors, such as the ones that your genetic makeup is less suited for, will require even more effort. Doesn't mean it's impossible. It's just going to require some time and more effort, right? And then the sixth step is you have to notice how you speak, how you act and behave. In other words, back to what this is all about. You first have to notice how you think, your mindset, your mentality, your thinking, and then pay attention to how you speak. Then once you start paying attention to how you speak, then you'll be able to pay attention to how you act. So hear this. You act the way you act and speak the way you speak because of the way you think. So if you thought differently, you'd speak differently. And if you think and speak differently, guess what? You'll act differently. So notice how you talk about life. Notice how you talk about goals and aspirations. Notice how you talk about your own talent and skill set. Do you find yourself saying things like, I'm no good at this? Or she's just naturally talented. So you play yourself down. See, swap those phrases out for statements like, I'm not great at this yet. And she's clearly put in a lot of effort to become so talented, to become a great orator, to become a great athlete, to become a great businesswoman, a great businessman. And then notice how others around you speak and act. And then seek out those who have growth mindsets and foster your relationship with them so you can get different results in your life. And then step 7, this is a very powerful step in learning specifically. Learn about brain plasticity. See, if you're the kind of person who loves learning about how the human brain works, then consider driving into the world of neuroplasticity. Go Google it, study it out. And this will give you a neat psychological perspective on how the growth mindset actually works so that you can grow, so that you can evolve and develop into the person that God already created you to be. See, the genius is already in there. It's just a matter of developing the genius, bringing the genius out. And so it takes work. So with that being said, I hope that you got something from this episode of this podcast. And I'm going to look forward to seeing you next week, where I'll pick up and share a little bit more on how to develop a growth mindset. Thank you for tuning in to this podcast. If you have not been to my website recently, I encourage you to go to abetter-u.com and subscribe to the website, as well as you'll be able to benefit from a complimentary one-on-one power session. All right, God bless you. Until the next time.
Thank you for tuning in to a Better You program with Anthony McFarland. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss an episode. Thanks for listening.